Hey guys, and welcome to episode 14 of the Own Your Voice pod. Now, last week in episode 13, we talked about what needs to happen before you build your personal brand, like the foundational things that need to happen before you start building a brand. Episode 14 today, we're going to talk about some ways to build your personal brand without spending hours on social media. And this is for you whether you are a corporate professional and an entrepreneur. We're going to talk about ways to build your brand that are more offline, things that help you build your brand in the organization that you work with, in the networks you're in, when you're meeting people face to face. And this is what you'll get, right? The thing is, the reason why I wanted to film this episode today is because many a times when I talk about personal branding to my clients, they actually tell me, Ray, I want to build my personal brand. I see the importance of it, but I don't really want to write on social media. It's not my goal at this point in time. And I don't want to spend hours writing content, especially those who are in entrepreneurship. Like, I don't want to spend hours creating content. Do I need to do that to build my personal brand? And then those in organizations, they say, I don't know if I want to post content online, but I want to build my brand in my workplace. How do I do so? Well, in this episode, you'll learn ways that you can build your personal brand without spending hours on social media. You'll learn ways you can build your personal brand that literally takes minutes, and you can implement this into your life right away. And when you do implement this, you will be creating a strong brand that lasts in the minds of people forever. Now, if you haven't listened to episode 13, you need to listen to it first, okay? But I do want to share a little bit about why it's important to build a brand. Now, if you're a corporate professional, without a personal brand, it's hard for your employer to recommend you if you choose to go to another company, other than saying you're a hard worker. In a world where having a degree is normal, you need more than credentials to be recognized for your true value. And when you're building a strong personal brand for yourself, it naturally adds that credibility for the organization. So naturally, employers will want to give opportunities to people who stand out so they can help the organization stand out. If you're an entrepreneur, building your personal brand is absolutely crucial to standing out to the right clients you want to work with. Especially when you're in a people-facing business, your brand is the differentiating factor between you and someone else providing the same service. So no matter how good of a skill set you have, people won't work with you if they don't resonate with you. Now, what exactly is your personal brand? I think a quote that summarizes it beautifully is this: your personal brand is what people say about you when you leave the room. Now, your personal brand is the feeling and the experience that you leave people with that lasts a lifetime. It's the real estate that you have in their mind. And they can't forget you because you have made them feel so good, and that feeling stays with them for a long time. So today I'll be sharing 5 ways that you can build your personal brand without spending hours on social media that you can implement right away in your life, in your career, and in your business. Okay, so the first way is this: being early. Being early. So I want to share a story. There was one time, me as well as a couple of other people, we were meeting this one mentor of ours in the speaking space. And he was going to do like a values exercise with us at a cafe. So I told myself, okay, I know that he really likes people to be early and he cares about that a lot, which is important, I understand. But I do have a habit of being late and rushing from place to place. Is honestly a bad habit of mine. So I told myself, okay, I'm gonna be early. Okay, so I left home and I live quite far away from that place. I traveled there and I was looking at my watch and I was like, oh my goodness, we're supposed to meet at 3 p.m. It's slowly inching closer to it. So okay. I was just hoping and praying, checking to see if I'll reach there on time. And I reached the train station at 2:58 p.m. when we're supposed to meet him at the cafe at 3 p.m. Now, the cafe is just outside the MRT station, so I made a run for it. I ran, and I reached the cafe at 3:01. Okay, our eyes met. Me and my mentor, our eyes met at 3:01. But he was the only one there, and nobody else was there yet except me and him. And so I heaved a sigh of relief and I thought, oh gosh, okay, at least I am the earliest. Apart from him, I'm the first one there. So I ran there, I was sweating, and I said, hey, I'm here, with a sheepish smile, hoping he doesn't notice I'm 1 minute late. And with a nice, calm response, he said, "You arrived 1 minute after 3." And then I replied, yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry. But I happen to be the earliest," hoping that would make him, forget my mistake. And then he asked me, "Ray, if let's say you're meeting a client for a $100,000 project at 3 p.m., will you be late?" And I said, no, I won't. And he asked, "Why not?" I said, "Well, I mean, it's a $100,000 client, right? Like, obviously, I'm just gonna make sure that I'm on time, take a cab there or something." And then with that calm face again, he said, "Then what makes me any different?" And in that moment, I was like, shit. He was like, the respect that you give to a $100,000 client, anybody you meet, a cleaner, a cafe owner, a random person, as long as you set a timing with them, how are they any different? How is it any different in terms of the respect that you give them as a human being? And that moment, I realized the importance of being on time. In fact, he actually shared with me this little secret, and it sounds so simple, it's gonna blow your mind. He said this, "Ray, the best personal brand is being early. Because if you are early and the person you're meeting is on time, they aren't late, they're on time, but they see that you're already there and you're waiting for them, they're gonna feel kind of bad for making you wait." And especially in this Asian society, I'm living in Singapore, I think it's even more so. We feel bad. And when they feel bad, they'll feel like they owe you something. The law of reciprocity. They feel like they owe you something, and there's a higher chance that you'll close that deal. And I was like, being early is literally free. All you need to do is to leave your house a little bit early, and you're going to create such a strong personal brand and a good impression on that person. And you won't be going there all sweaty and all that. And I had a client that attended my bootcamp, Alex, and he actually said this really nice quote, which is a principle that he follows. He says, "Being early is on time. Being on time is late." Those two occurrences actually really changed my mind about punctuality. So being early is one way that you can build your personal brand easily. The second way is to make your presence known when you enter a room. Now, instead of walking into your workplace tired, dreading putting your hose in there, holding your coffee, holding your phone, and just walking in, what you can do is to walk in, right? Make eye contact with the people that you meet first, that you see in the office. Say good morning with a nice smile, a firm, nice smile. It could be an elegant, whichever vibe suits your brand. Just be yourself and say hi to people, basically. And when you do that, people would recognize that you have entered the room. They'll remember who you are. They'll remember you as opposed to someone that just walks in, half like they just woke out of bed. Also, this client actually shared this story with me, right? One of my clients shared with me that one of her leaders in her workplace, or maybe not her particular leader now, but one of the leaders in her workplace once would greet each person one by one at their desk. And people would obviously know she's there, and so that when she's not around because she's out of town or she's, just sick, people actually ask her where she is because, she's not there greeting them one by one. And the office is 3 levels, right, high, and she would go to each level, each table, and say hello, good morning to every single person and ask them genuinely, how are you? There's another way to make your presence known when you enter the room. When you enter a meeting, instead of walking in sheepishly, take the room in, give people eye contact, say hello, and walk in. When you want to share an idea in a meeting and you take that stage, don't rush your idea. Share your idea with intention. Many people tend to rush and ramble because they feel awkward when people have their eyes on them. They doubt their ideas and they end their sentences with, does that make sense? What you got to do is to really learn how to enjoy the eye contact. That's something that I learned from one of my emceeing mentors as, I was hosting for 8 years. I'm on stage. There's going to be moments of silences. You cannot feel awkward in those moments of silences, because when you try to fill silences with rambling, you're going to create the wrong strong impression. So learn how to enjoy the silence, the eye contact of people's eyes on you. Use powerful vocal variety techniques like pause, emphasize on the ideas that you share, and even some storytelling to hold your audience's attention as you sell them the idea. And these are a few ways that you can make your presence known when you enter the room. Of course, in order to do that, you need to be comfortable with your own presence and you need to be confident. So it's going to take another episode to talk about this, but you got to learn how to overcome any fears and doubts that you have in showing up. In fact, I think I have an episode called How to Overcome the Fear of Public Speaking that you can scroll down and watch, or I'll link it in the caption in this episode. The third way to build your brand is to do little thoughtful things that make people feel special. So I want to share with you that my sister and I once went to this bar called Atlas. It's this really gorgeous bar that has like a long wait list. We had to like put our names in like 2-3 months in advance. And we went in, and immediately when we sat down and when we entered the space, we were greeted really nicely by the service staff and brought to our seat. Right? Which is normal. We sat down, we ordered our drink, and while we were ordering the drink and looking at the menu, the service staff was so kind as to like share with us some stories of the cocktails and where they were inspired from, how they were inspired by certain buildings in Singapore. And I was like really blown away because I was just ordering like this one cocktail, right? I mean, it's like a $20 cocktail, but the effort in which they put into delivering that beautiful experience was so pleasant. So I ordered, and then we were just waiting for our drink, and the server brought a bowl of sweet potato chips. And I love sweet potato chips. And I was like, oh my god, sweet potato chips. I ate the sweet potato chips. They also gave us a free drink because we are there for the first time. It's some Atlas exclusive gin drink. So instead of just getting that cocktail itself, I got the sweet potato chips and I got that free gin, drink. And after we ate all of the sweet potato chips, I kind of wanted more, and the server actually saw that our bowl was empty, and she took it and said, okay, I'll replace the sweet potato chips for you. And it turned out to be free flow sweet potato chips. Oh my goodness. I am saying this right now even though I've been to that place like a year ago. So you can see how it's so crazy that these little things that barely cost anything. Sweet potato chips will probably be 1% of this bar's revenue, right? But it genuinely made my night and my sister's night and made me feel like royalty. And it even prompted me to share this during this podcast, which got me thinking, how can I elevate every interaction and conversation that I have? What are the little things that I can do that will make someone's day? An energetic good morning, a sincere compliment. Hey, Sarah, is there a new scarf? Like, this scarf looks really beautiful on you. Simple things like that. Or if you want to compliment maybe someone's bag, someone's watch. This, or maybe just 10 seconds to send a check-in message to someone that you know who needs it. When you do that, people will remember you. Kindness is free, but the impact that it leaves is priceless. So do little thoughtful things that make people feel special. If you know that a colleague is working really hard in a project and might not have much sleep and she loves coffee, maybe spend some time to grab the coffee from the coffee shop downstairs, bring it up to the office and give it to her at her desk and see how her face brightens up. The fourth way to build your personal brand without spending hours on social media is this: having a genuine heart of service, having a service mindset. What you want to do is to keep your eyes open to the ways that you can serve people around you. And it's the little small things that people notice. You don't have to say, hey, I'm going to take your job off your hands. Let me do this project for you. No, not those things. The little things that people notice. The little things that don't take a lot of time, but takes observation, intention, and love. Things like, oh, hey, let me clear this tray for you. If you're both leaving the lunch table together. Or, hey, I'm heading down to the pantry. Do you want some hot water for your tea? That's it, right? You're getting hot water for yourself. Get a hot water for the colleague beside you and ask if they want that. Do you want a snack from the pantry? You look a little tired. Just little things like this will make your colleagues around you feel like they're seen. And that makes, when you receive little things like that, don't you feel excited? Don't you feel happy? One thing that I would do is I would surprise my clients with gifts. I know one of my clients love matcha. I know one of them love coffee. And, when I meet them, I surprise them with a gift. It doesn't have to be every time, right? The trick is to make it to do it when it comes on your mind, and try to make an intentional mark in your head every morning when you wake up and you go into your office. Ask yourself, how can I have a genuine heart of service and have a service mindset today? These little things require low effort and may even be on the way for you, but it will be seen as really thoughtful. Now, the last and final way that I want to share on how you can build your brand without spending hours on social media is this: good work ethic, delivering above expectations. This is something shared by one of my coaches. Good work ethic is part of your personal brand as well. Not many people realize just how strong of a personal brand you build by doing good work and surprising people by over-delivering. Think about the last time you bought a product or invested in a service and you're just blown away by the good delivery and customer service. The most recent time would be the travel insurance that I bought. Me and my family bought different brands of travel insurance. My family bought this particular brand. When they used it when we were in Bali and they had to submit a claim, it was such a tricky process. They need to find out exactly how to claim, where to send the email to. And I don't even think they got the claim at all. My mom actually had to call the company 2 or 3 times and they didn't answer, and it just made the entire process so annoying. Whereas for me, I bought from FWD Insurance. By the way, not sponsored. I genuinely am so happy with them. I bought it on a discount. I bought a worldwide travel insurance for a year. I went to Vietnam recently and I fell sick. And so I saw the doctor once overseas. But after I saw the doctor overseas and I came back to Singapore, I was still sick. So I saw the doctor another time in Singapore. And the entire claim process was so easy. They have an app. All I needed to do to submit the overseas claim was to submit the document. I got the money in 2 days. As for the doctor in SG, I didn't even have to pay myself first. I just need to show them an e-card at some of their clinics that they partner with. And immediately, I got to see the doctor and that's it. I didn't even have to pay money. It was claimed right away. It made the process so smooth that I was so happy. And that's the power of delivering over expectations. Thinking about the person that you're serving in your business or in your company. Apple is another good example. The customer service is impeccable, right? I have an iPhone, I have a MacBook, I have AirPods, I have an iPad. I really love Apple. There was once my MacBook actually couldn't start for some reason after I updated it, the software. So I called Apple support. They answered within 2 minutes. And then they stayed with me throughout as I tried to figure out what's happening. The guy's voice was so calm. I swear he can make a meditation app. And this guy stayed with me online in my anxious state for 30 minutes and he was so patient. And finally, when my laptop was fine, he was like, yeah, thanks. I'm so happy that I got to serve you. I'm super happy that everything was fine. And no complaints at all. The entire experience was amazing. Even in the Apple store, when you walk in, it feels so welcoming. And right now, Apple, especially, in Singapore at least, they even have free classes on how to use your iPhone to edit videos and photos, how to be more productive, completely free that you can sign up for at the Apple store or on their app, and then you go to the Apple store. So these are 2 brands that I absolutely love. And you can think about how you can use that principle in your life as well. How can you deliver good work ethic and deliver above expectations? It does not mean asking for more work when you're done with your work. You don't need to do that. But it's doing the work that you already have to the best of your ability and making it more convenient for people around you. If you find that if the company asks you to, if you find that sending a particular document via Google Docs looks really inconvenient, even though most people do it, then ask your colleague what's a better way to send it to her, right? Little things like this to make people's life easier and delivering over expectations. So those are the 5 ways that I personally keep in mind and that I practice to build your brand without spending hours on social media. Number 1, being early. Number 2, making your presence known when you enter the room. Number 3, do little thoughtful things that make people feel special. Number 4, having a genuine heart of service and having a service mindset. And number 5, good work ethic, delivering above expectations. Now, these are things that you can do right away, right? And you can do it right away and put it into your life. But that being said, as I mentioned in episode 13, you have to work on you to work on your brand. When you are comfortable in your own skin, when you're confident, when you are assured of your identity and your value, doing all these things will be effortless. It is difficult to make your presence known when you enter a room if you don't want to be seen. So you need to be confident yourself first. So you gotta ask yourself, what's holding me back from showing up as me? If let's say you feel slightly uncomfortable doing any of these things, and that's something worth exploring, and it's something that I explore in my coaching program with my coaches as well. You need to work on you before you work on your brand. Now, if you found this helpful, do share it on social media or personally to friends, because I really want to help as many people as possible. Not many people know these little things that they can do to build their brand, which can really attract them the clients and the opportunities they want. And you can do this right away. You don't need more credentials, more experience. These are things you can do immediately. And with that, I'll see you in the next episode of the Own Your Voice pod. Bye!